Hey, what's up, YouTube family? It is IK right here. Uh, yeah, I'm back at it with another good video, but this time I have a video response to a particular fighter that I wanted to basically do a video response to from an Instagram page that's from a particular fighter. She's a female fighter by the name of Stephanie Simon, and she made a pretty good video that I wanted to respond to. Um, this is like a pretty old video, but I was supposed to do a response to it in the past, but wasn't able to get to it at a certain point in time. So, but before I do that, be sure to hit the like button, do what you gotta do. Yeah, give me 1 second. I just need to find my capture, and then I will get this going. So, hold on. Give me 1 second. Um, I have what I have. I just need to find it. Hold on. All right. I'm gonna get the thing going, and here we go. Yeah. So this is her page. Definitely go check her out. She's a current professional fighter right now. Definitely like watching, her content. But she's really good. But yeah, let me just play the whole video, and then I'll give you like my whole take on it. So hold on. All right.
And I'm going to talk to you about it's your girl Stephanie, and I'm going to talk to you about how to pace yourselves for runs. For longer runs, I like to do 3 miles on the track. And the reason why I do it on the track is because it's easy to keep your pace, easy to keep your time. Track's based on meters, so 1,600 meters is a mile, that's 4 times around the track. One time around the track is 400 meters, which is a quarter of a mile, and then so on and so forth. You can break it up into 200 meters, which is halfway around the track, and then 100 meters is one stretch of the track. Let's say my goal is to run a 20-minute 3 mile. First thing I'm going to do is figure out what the pace is for 1 mile. So for me, that would be a 6-minute, 40-second pace. So if I have to run 6 minutes, 40 seconds for 1 mile, if I break it up into half a mile, that means that every 2 laps I should be running 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Then I can break it down even more. So 1 lap would be 1 minute 40 seconds. And I'm a little bit crazy. I break it all the way down to half a lap. So 200 meters should be 50-second splits. So it's called a split. Every time you hit half a lap or a lap or 2 laps, 3 laps, those are called splits. And again, those are important because if you go too fast on the split, then your second split will probably be slower. And if you start slowing down the second one, then it kind of just escalates from there, and you basically kind of ruin your pace. Even if you feel like you're going slow that first lap, the first 2 laps, or even the first mile, keep that pace. Don't change it, because once you get to the second mile, then it starts to kick in, and the fatigue. And I think a lot of times misconceptions like, oh, this feels slow, and it's going to feel slow at the beginning of the run because it's a 3 mile run. You have to pace yourself. Probably wondering why run on the track, why run 3 miles, why do all that. Well, for me personally, because I'm a boxer, I need to have a objective measurement of my conditioning. A lot of people are like, well, I can do 4 rounds or 5 rounds without getting tired, but that's subjective. It's not really a concrete number or concrete evidence that you're actually in shape. So if you give yourself a measurement, like a time on a track or a time on a swim, it's very accurate, and it also just helps you figure out your progression and see your progression in your condition. The numbers don't lie. I'm not tired. If you say that in a round, you can kind of fudge that. And you can tell yourself that, but in a fight, it might change. An undeniable way of knowing you're in shape is by hitting times in runs. And specifically runs because it's the closest cardio that we have to boxing. When you're boxing, you're on your feet, you're bouncing, right? You're not doing that while you're biking, you're not doing that while you're swimming. It's really good for you. You can mix it in with your runs and everything, but I think running is the most important, in my opinion, and a lot of the old school people's opinion. Do your runs, and on the next one, I'll talk to you about intervals. Those are great too.
Okay. So now that I got that out the way, hold on. Give me 1 second. Wait. Hold on. Just wanted to show that, but yeah, let's get right to it. So yeah, my whole take on this is pretty good. Um, I think Stephanie, she's very intelligent with what she says, and I think in terms of what she says about putting in the miles effectively, especially like running on the track to pace yourself, to give yourself that proper durability of stamina as a fighter is very important. Um, I used to do something similar to this back when I used to wrestle back in high school, and I will say for me personally, it's not it's not easy to kind of like pace yourself when you're in a situational manner of having to run a lot of miles. But I will say that if you have like a proper regiment to give yourself a good um, like a good strategy to level out the amount of stamina that you're burning as you are running, then that will help you scale a lot better. I think the biggest issue that a lot of fighters end up doing is that they don't put themselves in a proper position to be successful uh, in in producing enough like endurance based training. And for someone that used to wrestle in high school, I will say that the running was good when it was like more like constructive with like a certain like path like a pathway. How I used to do it back in high school is that uh, like for my coaches at least back up in upstate New York in Clifton Park, um, I used to basically run a certain trail from one part of what the high school to the other part of what the end destination. So basically, like what I would do is that I would go from the high school over to technically like a football field, and I think there was like some bleachers that I had to be that I had to meet to a particular finish of like a to a particular finish like of like a finish line starting point or pretty much a end point. I'm sorry. But from that point on, once you're done with that, then I pay, I I technically go through like a certain like pace around the track to kind of like slow down, and then I basically work my way up to kind of to get back into like the cardio of like having to do like more other like how should I say like I do other workouts after I do that particular run. I think as far as that particular run, I had to do at least I want to say maybe like a like 2.5 miles because I did run at least 2.5 miles like every practice, but that was like during like the opening preseason to like kind of like practice more on cardio and just like get everything put together before everything got cold within the particular winter season. So, anytime when it was hot out and it wasn't as cold, I was able to kind of get like my runs in, and then I was able to have everything conditioned. So, I think with her strategy for Stephanie's strategy, it's a very good strategy, and I think that strategy should be applied more. Um, I think as far as like how you set up like your strides when you are pacing yourself as you do miles on the track is quite interesting because for certain people, like let's just say for some people, if they're not really good at running because they probably have like certain issues with their legs, if they're not able to like kind of keep themselves up to pace, that could always factor into like how your pacing strategy can work if you're trying to split like your times of how long that you're running on the um, track and field track for your miles. Another thing would probably be um, I'd probably say about the motion of like how you're uh, keeping everything structured, with like your strides, as you're jogging. Because like personally with me, like I'm not always like a fan to like run outside on concrete. I'm more of like a person to like go outdoors and kind of go out on like more like harder grass because I feel like walking on the grass is like a little bit better, for your feet to kind of like keep yourself, safe with like not having to injure like your body compared to like actually running on concrete because I feel like for people that do train a lot, if they're having to like run outside with a lot of heavy concrete, that puts a lot of stress on your legs, and that can be a little bit detrimental to your long term longevity. So, I think that's something that that a lot of fighters probably end up doing in like lower income areas where they're not able to kind of have access to a proper gym to really train. They usually end up doing that to be like very old school. But yeah, personally with me, like I like to like run on, like I like to run outside on the grass because I feel more active and I feel more connected to be like very comfortable to do what I like to do. So I think like having to run on the track and field is good as well. I used to do track and field back in high school, and I do remember having to do that. In terms of like having to do like my little pre-workout run, and I wasn't like a runner per se on a team. I know I think I was like a sprinter. I did like a 100-meter dash if I'm not mistaken, but I only did that for like a short amount of time until I transitioned over to wrestling. And then when I used to wrestle, like I was doing like hardcore sprinting outside on top of doing like suicides, to a particular degree, like outside to kind of like get like my pacing up and to kind of get conditioning going. And I also did like some bleacher workouts, at the school that I was at. So yeah, I think Stephanie's strategy is actually really good, and I'm pretty sure for other fighters that are out there that probably do listen in, I'm pretty sure maybe for some of y'all that do listen, maybe other fighters do other strategies where they probably, run maybe like a 5K or maybe like a 10K run, but they probably take breaks in between to kind of get their to get their heart rate going, but they don't try to overexert the amount of energy that they're having to waste while they're doing their training. Because if you try to overtrain while you're going hard on a run, you could possibly hurt yourself while you're in fight camp. So I think to a particular degree, when it comes to like cardio and boxing, there should always be like a set standard to kind of like keep yourself safe so you're not having to injure your body. And I think also the preparation of like how you're training, like don't try to just work out right away. I think that the very first step before you get into any like high level workout is to like one, definitely stretch. If you stretch before you work out, you'll be a lot better off to not hurt yourself and try to overexert your body. Therefore, that makes it a lot easier for you to kind of go through the motions a lot better. So I feel like that's a really good thing to do, because if you don't do that, then a lot of people, well, a lot of a lot of like physical complications will evolve out of that, and that'll harm you in the long run. So I think that's always like the bigger issue, where a lot of fighters that go through that motion, they end up having those complications in fight camp where they don't prepare themselves physically to take care of their body, so therefore they can um, like uh, like basically it turns into like a much worse situation that harms their physical well-being, where they should have prepared better to prevent those issues from occurring, so therefore their body doesn't go through that particular type of stress that affects them long term, that can become a massive risk for their fights that are coming up in the future. So that affects their longevity as they're aging in the sport. But also, another thing that I wanted to probably maybe suggest that maybe some other fighters should do, and also to respond to Stephanie, is maybe if it is possible to kind of like replace like just like your traditional running and boxing, maybe if it is possible, why not just do biking outside? Because personally with me, like I like to bike whenever I need to, but I never biked at all when I used to wrestle in high school. And I was like thinking that, if you bike, you'll actually get more miles in, but you'll actually get more of like a quicker workout to kind of like do what you need to do. But as long as you're not like pacing yourself too much on the bike outside, at least you're getting a good workout to kind of like get all the energy fueled up, and then you'll just be good to go after you're done getting your miles in. So I think biking is a really good that's a really good alternative solution to kind of like basically get that good cardio in, so that way it can like fuel your physical stats for where you need to be. Maybe also swimming too. Swimming should also be like a bigger how should I say, it should be like a bigger thing that a lot of fighters should get into kind of like to kind of like fill in for that cardio if they want to like use that to basically factor as their main workout for cardio if they don't like to run. Because the good thing for swimming, at least, is that when you do swim, you actually get more of your body worked out, and you're not having to hurt your body as much because you're swimming in the water, but your body is getting all the exercises throughout your legs, throughout your core, and throughout your shoulders and back. So I think that's a really good way to do it. How I actually do it when I swim, I usually swim at least like, well, I don't try to go super hard, but I do at least like 15 laps. But if I want to go a little bit harder, I could always do 25 laps, but I think that's a little bit too much. But I think like on a good standard, if you want to kind of like get the most workout out of what you want to do, I think doing a good like 20 20 laps max is really good. But if you just want to start out, just try 5 to 10 laps, and then if you think that's a little bit too easy, then just upgrade it to 15 to 20. And then if you want to go super hard, then go up to like 25 to 30 laps, because think about it, for people that professionally swim, like, I mean, they're always in shape, like Michael Phelps and all those guys. Well, I'm not too sure about, like, Phelps, because I'm not too sure, like, if he was cheating back then. But I'll just like use him as like a bare minimum to say that, for the best swimmers, in the world, their cardio is basically made up for them having to swim like every single day, and also, like, properly dieting too, so they're not having to exert too much of their energy, to possibly underperform. So I think boxers should definitely take that into like account more, because I think that if you do that, then that'll help you succeed more in the long run. But yeah, I just wanted to give my take on what Stephanie said. I think she dropped a lot of great information, and I think a lot of fighters probably take that into consideration while they're getting into their like heavy loaded training, because as you're getting into like a fight camp, especially if you're doing like a 8 week or 16 week, well, like, I'm not gonna say 16-week camp, but like for like most camps that usually go past 8 weeks, I'm sure most of them probably get their running in early. But then after that, they usually try to do let the heavy sparring, let the heavy bag work. They usually do a lot of that, throughout let the in between portion of their camp. So that's usually by let the middle weeks. But overall, like, I think it's always important to use like better alternative methods for cardio preparation, and also also prepare like your body, better to stretch more, because it seems like for a lot of fighters that probably do get injured, they probably don't prepare their body enough, where they're not having to do their pre-workout stretches or anything to that level to make sure that their preparation routine is met before they even get into any heavy loaded workout, which could potentially affect them long term in their fights to get them injured a lot more often. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Definitely go check out Stephanie Simon. Um, she's on Instagram. She's a good fighter. I think she's like 2-0 in the sport of boxing. Yeah, I want to say she's at least 2-0. But yeah, I think Stephanie, she's a very good talent. I like her a lot, but I wanted to kind of give her shine for dropping a good video like this, because I don't think a lot of fighters really look at that type of type of like a content like this, or even people on YouTube. So I wanted to just bring this to light and just talk about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys later, and I got more content coming out. So peace out and have a good night. And also, I will have the shorts coming out for the post fights. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll be covering the post fights for the Kalen Walsh versus Elias Espadas card, and then we'll do um, what's the other card? We got Vito Melnecki versus that Polish guy. So yeah, I'll be dropping shorts for that probably tonight, and then I'll get that out the way for y'all. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I got more content coming out. All right, bye.